Hello viewers. Welcome to a new tour guide. Today we will about how to stay safe in California in the United States of America. This is the 7th episode. You can watch our first, second, third, fourth episodes and check the I button if you want. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, so let's go. Stay healthy. Air pollution in California. While air pollution levels have dropped dramatically since the 1970s, more than 90% of Californians live in counties with unhealthy air. Visitors to the mountains or the rural regions of Northern California will have nothing to worry about. Still, the over-reliance on cars, low rainfall, and surrounding mountains in Los Angeles, the Central Valley, and the Bay Area creates some of America's worst air quality. It gets particularly bad when a layer of cold air gets trapped by warmer air above it, particularly in basins. While air quality is rarely at levels that would be considered immediately dangerous, visitors should heed alerts and be especially cautious when any local wildfires are burning. Occasionally, there will be an advisory issued for air stagnation, which is a phenomenon involving an air mass that cannot move and therefore stagnates over an area for an extensive period. Air pollutants can cause breathing difficulties for those with existing respiratory conditions. If you have a respiratory condition, refer to the National Weather Service website on air quality to see if any such advisories have been issued for the areas you might visit. Disease in California. Deer mice can transmit a virus that causes hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. You are most likely to get infected if you breathe in dust containing their excrement. However, hantavirus is of very little concern to the traveler, as only a few people get infected each year, and most of them are exposed on the job, but sensible precautions should be applied. Do not venture into any wild animal's den or touch deer mice or their excrement. If you need to clean up after rodents, wear waterproof gloves, eye protection, and a high-quality respirator mask. Use disinfectants and wet mopping techniques rather than brooms and vacuums. If you get infected, treatment usually involves a week or two in the hospital. The primary defense against the virus is prevention. Stay safe. California-Mexico border. Due to California's proximity to the international boundary with Mexico, visitors should be cautious in areas near the border. 1. Beware customs and border patrol checkpoints and patrols. CBP is legally allowed to stop you or your vehicle solely to inquire about your citizenship and residency status within 100 miles of any international border. Non-whites, especially Latinos, should expect to be profiled, targeted, and harassed by these government agents. 2. Know where you are at all times. Follow reasonable safety procedures and use common sense when making decisions. 3. Do not pick up hitchhikers. If the person is undocumented or carrying drugs, you could be mistaken for a trafficker. 4. Keep valuables, including spare change, and lock your vehicle out of sight. 5. Avoid traveling in well-marked but unofficial trails. 6. Avoid hiking or camping in areas of significant border activity. If you are visiting a national or state park, consult park staff to help plan backcountry travel in safer areas. Crossing the border. Thousands of U.S. citizens visit the state of Baja, California, Mexico from California every year, with the majority of travelers returning from an enjoyable experience. However, a minority of travelers experience difficulties and serious inconveniences while traveling to Mexico. Before traveling to Mexico, ensure that you have the proper documentation and are familiar with the recommendations for foreign travel from the U.S. Department of State, Bureau of Consular Affairs. There are 6 border crossings between California and Mexico, 2 between San Diego and Tijuana, 1 between Tecate and Tecate, 2 between Calexico and Mexicali, and 1 between Andrade and Los Algodones. The United States operates a consulate general in Tijuana and a consulate in Mexicali. Mexico operates consulates in Calexico, Fresno, Los Angeles, Oxnard, Sacramento, San Bernardino, San Diego, San Francisco, San Jose and Santa Ana. Crime. The usual inner-city crime can be found in the worst parts of Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Oakland. Central Valley cities also have gang problems, such as Sacramento, Stockton, and Fresno. Northern coastal cities such as Eureka have an ongoing problem with significant drug activity and property crimes. However, most California cities are safe. As long as you take basic precautions against petty crime, such as keeping your phone and other valuables out of sight in tourist areas and staying out of obviously run-down neighborhoods, you will probably have a safe and pleasant visit. Suppose you are traveling along the Pacific Coast Highway or Highway 101. In that case, you may notice many hitchhikers along the way. Most are harmless youthful travelers or people who just need to get somewhere for lack of other means, while others may be less safe to pick up. Use your best judgment, and unless you feel confident in the people to whom you're giving a ride, it's probably better not to offer one while traveling alone. Drugs are illegal in California, with the noted exception of marijuana. Adults 21 and over are allowed to possess, use, and cultivate small amounts of marijuana, so long as it is not consumed in public or maintained on the grounds of a school or daycare center. A person's maximum amount is 1 ounce of marijuana or 8 grams of concentrates. Some dispensaries sell marijuana products to the general public. However, others remain restricted to those who have a medical marijuana recommendation from a doctor. Delivery services are also available. Marijuana is still illegal under federal law, so do not carry marijuana across state lines, even to another state where it is legal, as this will be considered drug trafficking and subject to harsh punishment. Also, do not take marijuana onto federal land, including many of California's dozens of national parks and national forests. If you find yourself in an emergency, dial 911 on your phone or any available phone. It is a free call from a payphone. Earthquakes in California. Earthquakes that are large enough to cause extensive damage are rare but remain a matter of reality for the state. Most tremors are mild and last for a couple of seconds. You're not likely to encounter one during your trip. Still, if you do, you'll probably go home with nothing more exciting than a story about it being over before you figured out that it was an earthquake. Compared to Japan, where earthquakes are common, and a smartphone-based earthquake alert system is well developed, or Mexico City, whose geography makes earthquakes easier to predict, expect to have no or minimal warning even if you sign up for mobile-based alerts. When you feel the shaking, drop, cover, and hold on. The biggest dangers are falling objects and windows, which may shatter explosively. In an earthquake, face away from windows and hide under any sturdy table or desk, and then hold on to that table because the shaking could cause the table to slide across the floor. Contrary to popular belief, they do not stand in a door frame. These are structurally weaker spots in modern buildings. They do not protect falling objects. If you are indoors, do not run outside. Falling building facades are more likely to cause severe injuries than anything inside. If outdoors, stay away from buildings, and stay out from under power lines. If you are driving, your first thought will probably be something wrong with your car. Immediately slow down and then stop at the nearest safe place. When the shaking is over, it's okay to start driving again, but drive cautiously, as traffic signals will likely be out, the road surface may be cracked, other drivers may be panicking, and there may be trees or damaged vehicles blocking the road ahead. Deserts in California. Along the southernmost border of California, Nevada, as well as the edge of California, Arizona, California has elaborate desert landscapes which extend into the south-central regions of the state, the most famous or infamous being the region known as Death Valley, where several tourists and hikers have indeed met their fate while exploring the region. If you plan on traveling or hiking into these locations, follow desert survival guidelines. Take plenty of water, at least 1 gallon, 4 liters per person, sunscreen, and wear light clothing. Let someone know where you are going and when you expect to return. Be sure to have a full tank of gasoline before traveling by car into these regions. Many desert locations are extremely remote and without any services for several miles, in some cases, nearly 100 miles. To break down in these regions could be highly unpleasant in the best case scenario and tragic in the worst. Also, it is best to hike during the earlier part of the day, as thunderstorms tend to develop suddenly during the afternoon. If you encounter inclement weather conditions, seek high ground immediately. Thunderstorms can cause flash flooding in canyons and other low-lying areas. Tsunamis in California. The incidence of earthquakes in California raises the concern for potential threats of tsunamis. Though tsunamis occur very rarely, much of California's coastline is in a tsunami zone. For more information on the state's hazard assessment, visit the NOAA Center for Tsunami Research website. Wildfires in California. Wildfires are common between May and October but are not limited to these months. Precautions include: 1. Clear the area around campfire pits, rings and campgrounds. 2. Never leave flames unattended, even artificial ones. 3. Do not throw cigarette ends out of a car. 4. Avoid unnecessary weapon use in dry areas. The most substantial impact of fires is smoke. Smoke affects areas dramatically exceeding the size of the root fire. Travelers with respiratory issues should consult visitor information sites before visiting areas where fires are occurring or anywhere in the path of the smoke, which can spread across large portions of the state during the worst wildfires. Mudslides in California. Fire season is followed by the rainy season, and hilly areas where the vegetation has burned are particularly vulnerable to destructive and sometimes deadly mudslides. Heed any evacuation warnings that are issued. Wild animals in California. Bears are found in the Sierra Nevada and all neighboring parts of the state. They're rarely dangerous but should never be approached. If you are camping, you need to ensure that food waste, and other scented items such as soap and toothpaste are secure. Mountain lions are rarely seen but live in all mountainous parts of the state and once in a while attack humans. If you see one, yell and wave your arms to make yourself appear as large as possible. Coyotes are pretty standard, even in relatively populated areas like the Hollywood Hills. They pose little danger to humans but will attack dogs, cats, and other domestic animals. Many animals, most notoriously bats, can carry rabies. When hiking, watch for ticks, having Lyme disease, and rattlesnakes. California is home to two potentially deadly species of spiders, the black widow and the brown recluse. If you don't go poking around abandoned structures and woodpiles, you're very unlikely to encounter them. If any animal bites you, seek immediate medical attention. Shark attacks have happened once in a great while at California beaches. Deadly sharks such as great whites do roam the California coast. Still, unless a specific beach has repeatedly sighted a shark, this is a highly remote possibility. Poisonous plants and mushrooms in California. Poison oak can be found almost anywhere in the state but is particularly common in Southern California, the Central Coast, the Bay Area, and any coast redwood woodlands. It's toxic throughout the year, even during the winter when it's lost its leaves. Sensitivity varies by individual, but many people can end up with a very nasty, blistering rash by contacting it. See the linked article for treatment options. California is also home to several lethal varieties of mushrooms, which can be particularly dangerous to would-be gatherers because some resemble edible types found elsewhere. Even if you're an expert on mushroom varieties where you live, don't assume you're safe gathering them in California. Respect in California. California is filled with a very diverse group of people. Northern and Southern California have notably different cultures. At the same time, the rural areas in the Central Valley and eastern portions of the state differ even more significantly. Sensitive topics include immigration, water rights, and land use. Los Angeles and the San Francisco Bay Area are especially well known for being some of the most politically liberal areas in the U.S. and continue to serve as some of the world's major counterculture centers. Conversely, parts of California, particularly the Central Valley, are conservative. However, don't assume any individual's political leaning based on where they live. Go next after California. 1. Arizona. Home to the Grand Canyon, Arizona borders California to the southeast across the Colorado River. 2. Nevada. California's eastern neighbor, is best known as the home of Las Vegas. However, Towns such as Reno and Carson City are also good day trip opportunities for visitors to explore the Silver State. 3. Oregon. Sharing a border to the north, Oregon is home to impressive mountains and extensive forests. 4. Hawaii. Many visitors to America's 50th state depart through California on their journey across the Pacific. Still, it is not a neighboring state and requires a 5-hour flight to get there. 5. Baja California. Those traveling across the border to Mexico can visit some of that country's most impressive sea and landscapes. This is all about the 7th or last episode. Thank you who are watching this full California tour guide series entirely. If you want, you can watch our other tour guides about the USA. Then you can visit our channel. If you like this video, I will say again, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much.